Today, we are tackling a big one. We're doing a full-blown investment analysis of a company that has literally redefined an industry, a company that is, believe it or not, aiming for Mars. Of course, I'm talking about SpaceX. It's one of the most important private companies in the world, and we're going to break it all down.
Now, let's get one thing straight right off the bat. SpaceX is private. You can't just log into your brokerage account and snap up some shares. But just for the next few minutes, let's pretend you could. We're going to run it through the ringer, do a serious analysis, and decide if this would be a smart addition to your portfolio.
So here's our flight plan for this explainer. First, we'll look at what makes SpaceX such a revolutionary force. Then we'll build the bull case, the argument for investing. After that, it's time for a reality check with the bear case. We'll crunch the numbers, and then we'll deliver our final verdict.
Let's be really clear here. SpaceX isn't just another aerospace company. No way. This is the company that completely shattered the old economics of getting to space. They turned what was once a government-only playground into a bustling commercial frontier.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really get why there's so much hype, you have to look at their track record. The bull case for SpaceX is really built on a foundation of them doing what pretty much everyone else said was impossible, and they did it over and over and over again.
I mean, just look at this timeline. The pace is absolutely relentless. In a little over a decade, they went from being the scrappy first private company to even reach orbit, to launching NASA's own astronauts to the space station. Every single one of these milestones wasn't just a win for SpaceX. It was a fundamental change in how humanity gets to space.
So, what's the secret sauce? It all comes down to one core concept: reusability. Before SpaceX, rockets were basically giant, incredibly expensive machines that you just threw away after one use. By mastering the art of landing and then reflying their boosters, SpaceX completely slashed the cost of space travel. That 747 analogy? It's perfect. It's like turning a disposable private jet into a commercial airliner.
And you can see the real-world impact right here. Their lower costs didn't just win them contracts. It created this immense pressure on the entire industry. You had competitors like United Launch Alliance, who held a monopoly on military launches for years, suddenly forced to completely restructure just to keep up. It's no surprise that by 2017, SpaceX was already dominating the market.
All right, let's follow the money. Because it's private, we track its value through funding rounds, when big players like Google and Fidelity come in and invest. Back in 2015, they valued the company at an already staggering $12 billion.
Now, fast forward just 5 years. After they started flying astronauts for NASA, that valuation shot up, nearly quadrupling to $46 billion. You see, this wasn't just investor hype. This was the market rewarding them for actually delivering on their promises.
And then, just 2 years after that, it blasted past the $100 billion mark, hitting $127 billion. That, right there, is the kind of exponential growth that defines a truly disruptive, game-changing company.
Okay, that all sounds absolutely incredible, right? Almost too good to be true. And, well, this is where we need a serious reality check. The bear case for SpaceX is just as powerful as the bull case. The same ambition that drives all that success also creates some huge, undeniable risks.
This quote from a Reuters investigation really cuts to the heart of it. That relentless, breakneck pace, it has a human cost. And for any potential investor, that introduces a whole other layer of risk you have to consider.
And when you start digging in, the risks are substantial. I mean, we're talking about serious allegations about the workplace culture and employee safety. And let's not forget, this is literally rocket science. Failures, and sometimes very public explosive ones, are just part of the deal. Then you have the enormous key person risk tied to Elon Musk. And on top of all that, you have the massive cash burn for their Mars rocket, Starship, a project so expensive it's even led to layoffs in the past.
So, how in the world do you weigh all of this? On one hand, you've got a company that's truly changing the world. On the other, you have some very real operational and financial challenges. To figure it out, let's dive into the numbers and see where things really stand today.
So revenue is projected to clear $10 billion this year. That's a massive number. But you know what? The most important story here isn't just the amount of money, it's where that money's coming from. The main driver isn't just launching rockets anymore. It's their satellite internet service, Starlink.
Now this right here might be the most important slide for understanding the SpaceX of today. The company is evolving into a totally different kind of beast. The majority of its income is shifting to recurring subscription revenue. Think about it. For a company that has to spend billions building Mars rockets, having a predictable, high-margin cash flow coming in from millions of subscribers every month, that's a financial game changer. It de-risks the whole operation. They're becoming an internet provider that just happens to own the world's best rockets.
Okay, so we've seen the explosive growth, we've stared the massive risks in the face, and we've looked at how the business itself is rapidly changing. It's time to put it all together. It's time to answer that question we started with. If SpaceX stock was on the market today, what would we do?
After weighing the monumental, world-changing potential against the very, very real risks, our verdict is
A clear buy. And I know, after we just talked about all those risks, that might be surprising. But we believe the potential rewards here are just too massive to ignore. Here's why.
It really all boils down to three key pillars. First, their dominance in the launch market is practically uncontested at this point. That's their foundation. Second, Starlink is rapidly becoming a global cash cow with incredible growth potential. And third, you have Starship. Yes, it's a huge gamble, but if it pays off, the upside is just astronomical.
So let's put it simply. The bottom line is this. The strongest argument is that you're buying two revolutionary businesses in one package, a launch monopoly and a global ISP. You just can't find that anywhere else. The biggest risk? It's all about execution. Can they actually pull off the next massive technical leap with Starship without those other risks blowing up the whole thing? Given this outlook, we project a potential valuation of over $500 billion within the next 5 years.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? The company's grand ambition, its whole reason for being, is to go to Mars. But for an investor, the real question is whether that epic quest will fuel the company's growth into the stratosphere, or if the sheer cost of that dream will bring it all crashing back down to Earth.
So that's our take on SpaceX. If you want more deep dives just like this one into the companies and ideas that are shaping our world, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for joining us.